Hey guys, it's Marissa at kitchentablestamper.com. Today I've got this really cute treat box for you. It's a long skinny box and it holds one of these Andy's peppermint bark snap bars. So I don't know if you've seen these. I have found them in Meijer and the stocking stuffers, but you can find them at checkout. Sometimes the Dollar Tree has them. And they have Andy's peppermint bark, and I've seen the Andy's, like the cream de mint, the dark chocolate and mint ones. So two choices, great little gift to wrap it up for Christmas here. And we're going to make this adorable box. Let's get our Simply Score tool and some Mossy Meadow cardstock and get started. Here's our box template, and I'll have a photograph of this along with all the measurements in the project sheet. Just follow the link to the blog in the description below. This is 4.5 by 8.25, and we're gonna start on the 4.5 inch side, and we're gonna score at 1/2, 1 3/4, 2.5, and 3 3/4. Then we're going to rotate once, and we're going to score at 3/4, 7, and 7 3/4. Now before we work the scores with the bone folder or trim according to the template, let's stamp on the box to add a little bit of texture. We're going to use some Mossy Meadow ink and a beautiful pine bough from the Peaceful Boughs stamp set. I love this stamp set. You'll find this in the Stampin' Up annual catalog. We're going to stamp Mossy Meadow on Mossy Meadow. We're going to stamp the boughs so that they're on the first 3 segments from your right-hand side, and we'll stamp it from the edge of the box here across the front. And then we'll turn the stamp and we'll stamp it across these first 3 panels to the bottom of the box. All right, we've got our beautiful bows. Now let's work those scores with the bone folder and trim according to the template. All right, so we've got our scores folded and creased with the bone folder. Now let's trim according to the template. Got a long skinny piece right here and a tiny little rectangle in the corner. Let's go ahead and cut that out and bevel the edge for our glue tab. We've got 2, a little square and a long skinny rectangle. Let's go ahead and bevel and cut those 2 out. Now we can remove these 2 entirely. Cut those off. Cut along the first score line here and then down to the intersecting score line and cut off the rectangle. And then same here, we need to remove this rectangle but leave this tab. So we'll cut all the way down along the score line here and then take a little dart to get rid of the bulk. Now at the bottom of the box, we need to just liberate the 4 tabs. So they're all together here. We're gonna take a little dart, cut out that scored paper, stopping at the intersecting score line. I'm gonna use tear and tape to assemble my box. We'll go down the long glue tab and lift the front bottom tab and add some adhesive. I'm going to do a tiny bit of punching before we assemble. Let's round the tab, this tuck tab, using a corner rounder. Now you can use the detailed trio punch from Stampin' Up if you need a corner rounder, or use your corner rounder of choice. And just round that up, make a tuck tab. And then I want a little thumb notch on the back side of our box, just so it's a little bit easier to open and get to our treat. I am not good at finding center, so I'm going to rely on the Stampin' Up grid paper and the centering ruler that's in there. This is 1 1/4 inches, so we're going to line up our folds at 5/8 of an inch, and then we're going to mark the 0. And now we've found center between those two folds on that panel. I'm going to use the retired 1/2 inch circle punch and punch half a 1/2 inch circle. Now we can assemble the box. So we're going to remove the liner from the long tab, and you can fold in and fold at the first score line from the other side. Bring those together, make a nice corner, burnish. From the bottom of the box, tuck your tabs in, bring the back of the box to the front, remove the adhesive liner, and move and fold the front to the back. Now we've got the seam across the back and down the back of the box, which is exactly where we want our seams to be. I'm going to use my bone folder and try to burnish the bottom of this box just a little bit. Try and get that adhesive to really grab. And now we can add our snap bar. Fantastic, right? We're doing good already. Now, got 1x6 designer series paper. This is the Heartwarming Hugs designer series paper. And I'm going to take a nice, generous dovetail off of each end of our banner. We're going to probably end up with a banner that's about 1x5 because we want some of that beautiful bow that we stamped on each end to show. But we've also got a nice little texture on the back of or on the sides of the box. All right, so we're going to roll the ends just a little bit and glue that on center. I'll use some liquid glue. And I don't go all the way to the ends. I like, since it's a treat box, that little bit of whimsy and flair, a little bit of texture that you get from rolling up the ends and not gluing them down flat. I'm going to use some sheer red ribbon. I love this stuff, and it is on sale while supplies last for $5.95 for 10 yards. So what is that? Less than 60 cents a yard for this gorgeous red ribbon that'll take you right into Valentine's Day. So if you're placing an order, throw a spool or 2 of this on your order. You won't be sorry. It's great ribbon, and 'tis the season, right? For your Christmas projects or your Valentine's projects, you'll have a beautiful sheer touch. Okay, we want a big loopy bow, but if you're not satisfied with the size, you can hold the loop and pull the tail. That'll allow you to adjust the loops if you want to make them a little smaller, and then pull both loops to tighten. Let's trim away from the spool. And we'll correct the angle on that side. There's our gorgeous wrap. Got to do some stamping, so let's slide these guys aside. I've got my Stampin' Pierce mat, Real Red, and Mossy Meadow. We're going to stamp our greeting and trees from the Perfectly Plaid stamp set. I love this North Pole delivery at Christmas time. This is perfect for treats and stocking stuffers. We're going to use this leafy tree. It's a photopolymer set, so we want to use our Stampin' Pierce mat underneath. I'm going to use Pear Pizzazz cardstock and Mossy Meadow ink to stamp our tree. I like this little leafy one because then you get such a nice tone, green on green with the leafy open spaces. There is a little fill-in stamp that you can use over it to add a little more depth to those leaves if you felt like it. I like the contrast, so I'm going to stick with it. And I have a basic white rectangle here. It's stitched, and we cut that using the stitched rectangle dies. This is 2 7/8 by 7/8 and stitched. It is the perfect size for our special delivery greeting. So let's ink that up in Real Red, and we can stamp that centered right to left and top to bottom. It's going to be a perfect fit, custom made. Gorgeous. Isn't that just the cutest label? All right, let's get rid of the Stampin' Pierce mat and we can punch out our trees. Got my pine tree punch here, and just pop those right out. When you're punching and you're upside down like this, you want to make sure you hold your punch nice and wide. This is like a big greasy cheeseburger and you don't want to get any on you. You need to really open your hands wide when you do this and punch. If you hold it close and you try to punch this way, you will pinch the palm of your hand in the punch. So always take a nice wide grip when you're punching so that you can see. I'm going to add our little trees to our treat box. One's going to go with flat with multi-purpose liquid glue. And watch where you put your glue because it's not going to go behind the box here. So you don't want any glue sticking past the edges. Kind of right over the ribbon and give it a little angle. Going to add our second tree with a dimensional. Again, watch where you put your adhesive. Another little angle. So cute. All right, our North Pole is going to span flat and dimensional. So when you add adhesive to the back of the label, you put a dimensional on the back right and liquid glue on the back left. Then you can peel and add your North Pole delivery label so that the designer series paper peeks out above and below. Super cute, right? But we're not done yet. Let's get a little bit of gold foil. This is from the brushed metallic. You can use your foil sheets if you've got silver foil sheets or gold foil sheets, but I love this little brushed finish here. And I've got a star die. These 3 stars are from the Give It a Whirl dies. We're going to cut them, but my little tip for you today is when you're using metallic paper, when you're using the foils, the brushed metallic, cut your foil to size. Leave this piece. Don't run this through the die cut machine all as one big piece because you will scar this and ruin it. Now this is perfect in good condition for the next project. And this is just the bare minimum of what we'll need to die cut. Bring in our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And pop that in and give it a crank. We're going to get the most adorable little stitch stars that we can use to embellish. I'm going to take your pick tool and I'm going to just gently, using the side, press these out because we don't want to scratch or dent those stars. The foil is kind of delicate, and if you push from the side of the tool, then you won't poke a little hole or scratch it. Bring in our samples. Aren't these so pretty? And let's see here. I think that's going to be the best way. Ha! All right. For the top of the trees, add a little dot of liquid glue. And you can put the small and medium stars on the top of your trees. For the larger star, we're going to take a mini dimensional. We're going to put it right by the knot of our bow. Remove the adhesive liner, and then you can position your star over the dimensional. Isn't that beautiful? Not done yet. Not quite enough holiday cheer. Let's add some red rhinestones on our trees. Take your pick tool and 1, 2, 3 on my front tree, and let's go 2. I flung my star, the glue wasn't dry. And 2 on our back tree. There they are, our North Pole delivery snap bar boxes. If you've got any questions about the project, email marissa@kitchentablestamper.com. To shop Stampin' Up 24/7, buzz over to marisaalvarez.stampinup.net. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.